What's up, folks? Zen here. It is February 11th, the Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday. This is my new Violette de Bordeaux fig tree that I purchased a couple months ago. It was in a pot and it started breaking dormancy about a week ago. And so I decided to put it in the ground and try growing a fig tree in this spot again, since I have no luck growing them in pots. This will be my third attempt at putting a fig tree in this spot. You can see over here that it's perfect for another fruit tree if it grows out and fills out in this area. If this doesn't work this time, I think I pretty much had it with trying to put a fig tree here. It'll end up being the definition of insanity. Keep trying to do something and expecting a different result. But I actually mixed the native soil with some cactus succulent potting soil just for the sand that's in it. And hopefully it's not a drainage issue that was killing my trees. Like I said, this is the third attempt. I had a black mission fig that I put in here that I took off the top of my potted black mission fig. I took a cutting and I rooted it. And unfortunately, I guess the branches were too low and the rabbits just continually kept eating all the fig leaves. And so that tree eventually died. Then I purchased another Violette de Bordeaux that was fairly lengthy, and the rabbits couldn't get at the leaves, but that died in this spot. And so now I picked up another Violette de Bordeaux, and we'll see what happens. The loquats are coming in. This is my family loquat tree. I've done a couple videos on it already, but it's already fruiting, so looking forward to a new crop of loquats. And so, yeah, I put this fig tree in here, mixed it with the cactus succulent mix, and then I ran this hose down here and I watered it in with rainwater that I collected from my water barrel. Oh, yeah, this is what remains of my Barbados cherry shrub that I tried to grow in this spot, and the rabbits pretty much ate all the leaves constantly, and it finally died. Eventually, I might put another tree here or some kind of shrub or bush or something, but yet another failure. I haven't done as many seasonal updates, but I guess this could count as a winter update just because of all the things that have died on me and have not worked out. This is a cutting from the passion fruit vine that I have growing out in my front yard, which I shot a video about, and it is actually thriving out there, so that's a plus. Here's another cutting, which has been decimated by caterpillars, which I allowed to grow. I don't know if they're still around. It would suck if after the caterpillars have chewed holes in all my leaves that the birds got at them. But I remember seeing a really beautiful butterfly land on this plant, and I figured it laid eggs on it, and sure enough, like a week or 2 weeks later, there were at least 3 or 4 caterpillars on this thing, and I just left them alone because I wanted them to grow into caterpillars. Plus, if you've checked out my other videos, I have an aversion to killing things, even bugs. I've got spiders crawling around my house. I had a fruit fly infestation. I just figured I'd let them battle it out for themselves. I don't like to kill anything unless I actually have to. And I don't see any sign of the caterpillars. Man. Yeah, there were 4 caterpillars on this plant. Excuse me. Now they're gone. This is the black mission that lived for 3 years in this pot and finally died. The one that I took the cutting from and tried to grow out in that spot I just showed you. This is the top of a Violette de Bordeaux I was trying to grow in this pot, which died. The cutting is still surviving, but not thriving well. Like I said, I haven't had any luck growing fig trees in pots. And so I'm going to be using this soil in my new project. I've got lots of containers with old potting soil in it from all the plants that have died on me. But I will be using all of the extra potting soil and the old potting soil in this raised bed, which I'm going to redo. It's going to be kind of a Hugelkulture project for this season's cannabis grow. If you looked at my last update, my crappy growing season started getting some new visitors, ground squirrels, that ended up decimating my crop of cannabis and left me with only 2 plants, which a male and a female, luckily, which I ended up letting the male pollinate the female plant, and I was lucky enough to get some seeds off that plant. So the strain of banana kush that I'm growing, that I've been growing here for 4 years, that I discovered from a cheap bag of dispensary weed, that lineage will continue because, like I said, banana kush likes tropical climates. It doesn't like the cold, and it doesn't like extreme heat, and it's not supposed to fare well outdoors, but I've been able to grow it successfully year after year, and I want to keep that lineage going. So I have some seeds that I was able to collect off the one female plant I still had left, and I will be growing it in this raised bed box that I originally built to hold my failed avocado trees. 3 trees I've tried that have died. And look, my Manila mango tree is dying now. I'm telling you, either I really suck at this or growing things is not as easy as everybody else's videos seem, because I mean, that's why I was so despairing in my last update, because all my trees are dying on me. At least my blood orange is thriving. And this is a happy sight. Look how beautiful this is. This is my May Pride peach tree that I grew in a raised mound. Did a video on that as well. And the leaves are coming out now. I haven't been out here in about a week or so. Look at all the blossoms. I took all the blossoms off last year. I'm just going to let it hold fruit this year, see what happens, see what kind of fruit we get off this May Pride. Oh yeah, speaking of flowering, this Asian plum tree went into early flowering, so it's already forming fruit. I bought this tree in order to pollinate these pluots that are only now breaking dormancy. But this thing always goes into early flower. The reason I bought this second pluot tree was to end up pollinating this one as well, or have them cross-pollinate each other, because I couldn't rely on this Asian plum tree, which is self-pollinating. I mean, it doesn't need a pollinator. It's already forming fruit. This thing went into flower middle of December when it's supposed to be doing it now, late February and March. So, hello, little bee. Don't sting me. So the plant trees are still alive. They still haven't gotten much growth on it. I mean, I give them compost tea. I give them earthworm castings. I give them fish emulsion. But they haven't grown that much. But at least they're still alive. Which, if you look at my history of growing things, is quite a plus. So yeah, I had to put up this chicken wire to save the remaining 2 plants I have. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more stakes or rebar at the corners, and then surround this thing with chicken wire when I start growing my new crop uh, once spring hits in about a month or so. So this is going to be kind of like a Hugelkulture project. The reason I have a pile of wood chips in here right now, and I got a couple large rocks, and I got the tarp here, is unfortunately my poor beloved Boo, my tuxedo cat of 22 years, finally passed away, and I made this her resting spot because eventually I might try to put another avocado tree here. And so I buried her about 3-4 feet deep in this spot. I had the raised bed moved over here, and I was planning on maybe putting another tree over her. And the next day, to my horror, a coyote had come across the spot and dug her back up. So, talk about a really bad week. Not only did my dearest, sweetest cat pass away, I had to rebury her because I had a coyote. I actually came out and a coyote was here, and he had her in his mouth. And luckily, he dropped her and ran off. And then I had to basically pick up the pieces again. I put her in a canvas bag and I reburied her. And then I put the tarp over her. I moved the raised bed box over her. I filled it with wood chips. I put boulders down. And I think the coyotes got the message. Don't mess with my Boo. So this is her resting place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything. I'm going to take the tarp, take the rocks out, drag all the wood chips. I'm going to dig an indentation into the ground. I'm going to fill it up with the wood chips. And so that's why I call it like a Hugelkulture box. Basically the same premise of people that grow stuff on a Hugelkulture mound, and they put in wood logs and such like that. But I'm just going to be having the wood chips here. And then I'm going to fill in the bottom with the compost uh, that is here in my compost spot, which is covered with leaves right now. But underneath it should be some really rich, nice compost full of earthworms. And so, yeah, pear tree's still alive. I'm really bummed that my Manila mango is dying. I had to take the top off. It sprouted like 3 really long branches that were really wobbly and hanging down. And so I took the top off this thing. And ever since then, branches have been dying off. I've already broken off 4 other branches that were sprouting from the trunk that were dead. But then more of them keep dying. So this tree is dying. If anybody knows any reason why this tree might be failing on me, I really didn't take all that much off. Um, Tell me, guava tree needs some trimming. It's looking a bit strange. I just had some workers come and clear out the vents because I almost started a fire trying to dry clothes. It was so clogged with lint. I didn't even know anything about that, about how you should clean out the vents every once in a while. Smelled something burning. I'm like, what the hell? So I got some guys coming up that came over and clean out the vent, and then they asked me if they could pick some guava, and I said, help yourself, um, because this tree is a massive producer. I give guava to my neighbors. There's a store down the street uh, that I give guava to the people there. They love it. And these workers who are Mexicans, they love this guava. They went crazy for the guava. They just pulled them off green. I mean, I'll pick some from time to time, and I wait for them to get pungent and slightly yellow, and then I'll mix them up in a fruit smoothie. But these guys were just picking the guavas and just chomping into them. And they're saying that this guava is so good, you can't find this type of guava in the stores. And I just gave them a couple bags, and I said, go to town. And they picked this thing pretty much clean. The stuff that's left is starting to rot and go bad. But I'm happy that they're pleased with the guava. I said, give me a call every year at this time. You can come and get your fill of guava. Maybe we'll do I mean, they're handymen, so I said maybe we'll do a bit of a trade. I gave them also a couple bags of my uh, homegrown cannabis too, so they went away happy. Pretty cool, huh? Come to the house, do a little work on the do a little maintenance work, and then you end up coming away with bags of fruit of their favorite kind of guava that they can't find anywhere. A couple bags of weed. And here's the grapefruit tree that's starting to rejuvenate. I'm so happy about this thing. I was starting to look at older videos of when I first got down here, and I'm like, I'm not making this place better. Everything's dying on me. Everything looks worse than when I got here. That that's not supposed to be right. I was so proud. Oh, I'm taking care of these trees now. Blah blah. They're gonna thrive. Look at the videos that I took when I first got here. All these trees were in better shape than when I took over. I don't know if it's due to age because they are over or around 30 years old, but I've had so many troubles with this grapefruit tree declining and shedding leaves and dropping leaves, and it's so nice to see all this new growth. So hopefully this grapefruit tree will be making a comeback. There's nothing to be done with this mandarin tree. This mandarin tree was already in decline when I first got down here. Um, and it's flowering, but the best year I had off of this mandarin orange tree, I probably managed to get about 8, 10 small mandarin oranges off of it. But like I said in another video, I'm going to keep this tree until it completely expires. All these larger trees were put in by my father when he first moved here. And all these other smaller juvenile ones are my attempts at growing trees here. So anyways, that's the plan. I'm going to move this box, remove the boulders, drag the tarp with the wood chips away. I'm going to dig an indentation. I'm going to fill it with wood chips and compost, and then fill it in with all my used soil from all of the dead plants in the containers that I have, and then mix it in with some of the um, bag soil I have when I'm ready to start growing my new crop of cannabis. So yeah, this is Zen. This has been my winter 2022 to spring 2023 update, and hopefully I'll keep up with it. We'll do an update on the fig tree when it completely comes out of dormancy, and I'll do my new grow update when I start getting ready to plant my new crop of banana kush. Hope everybody's having a better new year than the last. Zen out.